We want to respect that, and we're a little bit over that right now. So there's a microphone here. We have an open forum. So if you have something you'd like to express, please come up to the microphone.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm a sociology PhD student at UNM. I'm also a member of a working graduate partnership with APS on the implementation of ethnic studies. And part of that partnership, what we have done is try to get ethnic studies training for teachers who have been basically thrown into those roles unprepared. And the foundation of that training has been to root it in anti-oppression and social justice frameworks and pedagogy, so that you can install the content of whatever group that you want to teach about, right? You can teach about different indigenous groups, you can teach about Chicano studies, African American studies. My point to all of that saying is that I feel a little frustrated at this meeting because I feel like the community has come forward in so many instances to offer viable solutions, and APS has time and again turned their back on them. So I can think of with the refugee newcomer program that happened, where the community came together and came up with a list of solutions that were little to no cost to APS. APS didn't act on them. From our findings, from our research on this project, which was over 2 years of work, we had a list of implementations and findings and things that could be directly changed that we presented to APS. The takeaway that I got from the meetings when we presented that was that ethnic studies was good for brown folks, but we couldn't mandate that curriculum for all people. So I guess that to say is that I'm sure that the two young girls at Cibola were very versed in their native indigenous background, right? And that did little to help them. So if we continue to see indigenous curriculum and culturally rooted training as for the brown folks, or as a side note, then it does nothing to change the actual the racism and the underlying colonization that continues to happen in our classrooms, right? So it needs to be. I don't know how else to say that in a way that we have, as community members, been willing to come forward to work. We have raised thousands of dollars to try to get this training done. Different organizations have come forward, and at each turn, APS has told us that we do not want to work with community, right? And so I just hope that something productive comes out of this meeting, and it doesn't end up being a waste of the time of all of the parents who I'm sure had to re-evaluate their schedules in order to be here, because we can't continue to do that, and we need to look for, instead of Band-Aid solutions, which is what we continue to have, we need to be looking at structural changes that cause this to no longer happen, right? So.
Hi, my name is Kristen Cutter, and I'm a licensed massage therapist. I am here today to talk about school bullying and racism. It's based on the Covington teens from Kentucky who were not even old enough to vote. They go to an all-Catholic pro-life school. And in a DC conference, it was put on Deb Haaland's Twitter account libelously that these young boys, not even old enough to vote, had blocked an indigenous man. And this tweet was actually tweeted by a South American pretending to be a California school teacher, and CNN reported that that Twitter account was suspended because of foreign influence. Now, Deb Haaland, who herself is Native American, sympathized with another Native American, jumped the gun, and put on her Twitter account that these innocent young men who weren't around during Wounded Knee, who were there for pro-life,
they're old enough to get their ass kicked,
had been there, Catholic pro-life, and had done nothing wrong but do their school chants upon being called names by another group that was there.
What's the point of it?
The point is that these young men are school-age kids, and bullying happens both ways. There's too much white hatred. I myself registered students to vote on an all-American, Native American campus, and I was bombarded with statements about white hatred. So I think Deb Haaland needs to remove that tweet about the innocent young school kids. I also think racism is wrong, but I think in the APS, before you call someone a racist and ruin that young man's life with his whole life ahead of him, that you understand that full investigation without jumping the gun.
Racism rules lives, lady, not anti-racism.
Those young men were there for pro-life, and that's all they were there doing. They did nothing wrong. They were confronted by the Native Americans, and
Thank you.
does show the link proof.
Yes, and we thank you. We thank you for your comments. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's something. My name is Stan Holder. I was asked to come and facilitate the meeting tonight, and there was a huge accident out on I-40 East. I'm the executive director for the Yakima Pueblo Department of Education, and I left Yakima about 3 o'clock, and it took me this long to get here, so it's been an adventure. However, I think that some of the rules are the protocol that we need to follow whenever we engage ourselves in these types of meetings is that we have to understand that everybody has an opinion and that they're allowed that opinion under the Constitution. That the premise that we have as far as Native Americans is that we are guaranteed a free and appropriate public education, number one, that we are citizens of the United States since 1926, and that we do have inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this includes safety and welfare of our children while they're in the educational domain. So I believe that the intent of this meeting is for us to hear and understand that diversity of opinion, to be able to take notes and to get some direction, to provide Albuquerque Public Schools some direction as far as addressing the needs of Native American students. I think that we're at the confluence of some very important opportunities for Indian education. I know a lot of you are familiar with the Yazzie Martinez lawsuit, that they ruled in favor of Yazzie and Martinez, and they did agree that they had been underfunding education, and it was especially impacting Native Americans and other minorities. We also have a new governor here in the state, a new administration, that is very open to listening to the needs of Native Americans, especially in the domain of education. The other opportunity that we have is that we are at a point in time when we have the benefit of having generations of Native Americans that have achieved academically, that have completed post-secondary and graduate education, and we have those minds and that experience that we can bring to bear. Oftentimes I feel the same anger and frustration that everybody else does, but venting isn't going to solve the problems for our children. I have a son, he's in the 3rd grade, he's 10 years old, and I want to make sure he has hair down to his waist. He goes to the Sundance with me every summer. He dances, he gourd dances, sweat lodges, and I don't want anybody to take that away from him, or try to impede that, or make him to feel other than ordinary because he pursues who he is. So I think we all have that stake in that. We all have that investment. And unfortunately, we do have racism and discrimination. We can't legislate it out of existence. So periodically, we have to come together and speak our mind and provide some direction to government, public schools being part of that government, so that we ensure that our children have a place also. We've never been opposed to diversity. We welcome diversity from the first time we encountered Europeans and said, hey, there's plenty here for all of us. I don't know, that might have been a mistake, but we've always welcomed diversity. And I believe that what we have to emphasize here is that while we appreciate diversity, we have to have that niche also. We have to have a place where we belong, where our children belong, because we're part of the fabric of all of this also, and we still have a contribution to make. So let's proceed with that understanding, to have respect for one another. What somebody's at the mic saying may not be something that we especially like or want to hear. However, we've afforded them the opportunity to do that. And I think if we take all of that information and we focus it and we're able to analyze it and go through it, we'll be able to provide Albuquerque Public Schools some of the direction that they need to ensure that our children are benefiting from this and that indeed their rights are upheld and not violated. So let's go ahead and proceed.